In 1969, a serial killer mailed his own evidence to the police. They still never caught him. What you're about to hear is not a story about a killer who hid in the shadows. This is a story about a killer who performed in the light, who called police dispatchers, who mailed bloody evidence to newsrooms, who sent encrypted messages to newspapers and demanded they print them on the front page, or he would start killing children. And despite all of that, despite every letter, every phone call, every cipher, every clue he left behind, no one has ever been charged. Not in 1969. Not in 1989. Not today. This is the Zodiac Killer. Before this video is over, I'm going to show you the single night where police had him, standing right in front of them, and let him walk away. But first, you need to understand who this man was. Because nothing about this case makes sense until you realize he wasn't trying to get away with it. He was trying to be famous. December 20th, 1968, Benicia, California. A freezing night on a road so empty and so dark that no one would hear anything for miles. Two teenagers, David Faraday, 17, and Betty Lou Jensen, 16, are parked off Lake Herman Road. It's their first date. They're nervous. They're excited. They have no idea anyone else is out there. They are found hours later. David, shot once in the head, point blank. Betty Lou, found 30 feet from the car. She had managed to get out. She had tried to run. She was shot 7 times. 5 of those bullets hit her in the back. She was running away from him, and he shot her 7 times. Police have nothing. No motive. No suspect. No witnesses. Nothing. But here is what nobody understands yet. This wasn't random. This wasn't a crime of passion. This was practice. 6 months later, July 4th, 1969, Vallejo, California. Fireworks are lighting up the sky over Blue Rock Springs Park. Nobody hears 2 gunshots over the noise of the celebration. A young couple, Michael Mageau and Darlene Farron, are shot in their car. Darlene dies at the scene. Michael, despite being shot multiple times, survives. And then, 62 minutes after the shooting, a payphone rings at the Vallejo Police Department. The man on the other end doesn't whisper. He doesn't panic. He gives them the exact location of the shooting. He tells them to connect it to the murders at Lake Herman Road 6 months earlier. And then he hangs up. He called the police. Himself. 1 hour after the shooting. From a payphone 1 mile from the station. That level of arrogance should have gotten him caught immediately. Instead, it's just the beginning of the most theatrical cat-and-mouse game in American criminal history. And I need you to stay with me, because what he does next is something no killer had ever done before. August 1st, 1969. 3 newspapers, the San Francisco Chronicle, the San Francisco Examiner, and the Vallejo Times-Herald, each receive a letter. Inside each letter, details about the murder so specific, so precise, that only the killer could have known them. But that's not the disturbing part. Each letter also contains 1/3 of a 408-symbol cipher, a code. He gives them instructions. Print all 3 pieces on your front page, or I will drive around all weekend killing lone people in the night. The newspapers print it. Within days, a high school teacher and his wife in Salinas crack the code. And what they find inside is one of the most chilling things ever pulled from a criminal's message. He writes that he is collecting slaves for the afterlife. He writes that killing is the most thrilling experience he has ever felt. More thrilling than sex. And then he closes with this. I am not afraid of the gas chamber, because it will send me to paradise all the sooner, because I now have enough slaves to work for me. He misspelled paradise. And it didn't matter, because every front page in California belonged to him now, exactly the way he planned it. Remember, I told you there was a night where police had him standing right in front of them. We're there. October 11th, 1969. San Francisco. A cab driver named Paul Stein, 29 years old, a PhD student working nights, picks up a single passenger in Union Square. Minutes later, in the quiet neighborhood of Presidio Heights, Paul Stein is shot once in the head at point-blank range. Children watching from an upstairs window see the killer. They watch him wipe down inside of the cab with cloth, tear off a piece of Paul Stein's shirt, and then calmly, hands in his pockets, walk north into Julius Kahn Park. A police dispatch goes out. Officers flood the area. 2 officers in a patrol car spot a man, matching the physical description, walking near the park. They roll down the window. They ask him if he's seen anything suspicious. The man points toward the park. And the officers, because the wrong description had been read over the radio, thank him and drive away. That man was never identified. To this day, no one knows whether the Zodiac Killer was standing on that street corner, pointing San Francisco police officers in the wrong direction, while they said thank you and left. That is the most haunting moment in this entire case. Not the murders, not the ciphers. The moment they may have looked in the eye and driven away. After the Stein murder, he gets worse. He mails Paul Stein's bloody shirt to the Chronicle as proof. He threatens school buses full of children. He claims he has killed 37 people. Police can only confirm 5. He sends more ciphers. 3 of the 4 he sent have never been officially decoded. In one letter, he writes directly to the men hunting him. The police shall never catch me because I have been too clever for them. Then, sometime around 1974, the letters stop. The killings stop. The Zodiac stops. He just appears. For decades, investigators circle the same names. The most prominent, Arthur Lee Allen, matched witness sketches, owned Zodiac brand watches, and had reportedly told friends he fantasized about hunting human beings. His handwriting was tested. His DNA was tested. Neither matched. In October 2021, a cold case team called the Case Breakers named Gary Francis Post, an Air Force veteran turned house painter, dead since 2018, claiming his name was hidden in anagram form inside the ciphers themselves. The FBI has not confirmed it. The case remains officially open. And in December 2020, 51 years after the first cipher was mailed, a team of amateur codebreakers finally cracked a 340-character cipher that had defeated the CIA, the FBI, and the world's best cryptographers. Inside it, no name, no location, no confession, just more darkness, more taunting, more nothing. So here is what we know. The Zodiac Killer called the police. He mailed evidence. He sent ciphers. He wrote letters for years. He stood on a street corner and pointed officers away from himself. He did everything except confess. And he was never caught. Not because he was invisible, not because he was untraceable, but because he understood something deeply disturbing about human psychology, that if you are bold enough, brazen enough, and loud enough, the system will always be one step behind you. He didn't hide from the world. He performed for it, and we gave him exactly what he wanted. Next week, a killer who went cold for 40 years, who lived as a normal neighbor, a church president, a grandfather, and who was finally caught. Not by detectives, but because a relative uploaded their DNA to a genealogy website. The Golden State Killer. And that story is somehow more disturbing than this one. Subscribe so you don't miss it.